Hi and welcome. I'm very happy to be talking to Lea James today, who's a certified parenting coach here with the Giant Institute for Parenting. Maya, to kick things off, tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing as a parenting coach.
Well, I am a parent coach and I work with frustrated and overwhelmed parents to create connection, peace, and cooperation with their children without punishments, bribes, or yelling.
And what inspired you to do this work?
Well, I was a frustrated and overwhelmed parent. And I
You're like
needed
life experience, Kiva, duh.
Yes. So that is ultimately what led me to find Jai. I read, every parenting book I could get my hands on, and I was finding that I was getting help, and it was providing little transformations with in my relationships with my family, and I still was desperate. I wanted more. And when I found Jai, I was kind of at my breaking point. I was like, I'm either gonna leave my family or I need some major deep help.
Would you be willing to share some of what was going on that was having you feel so frustrated and even desperate?
I was deeply reactive. Anytime my son was having big emotional expressions, and I was taking it really personally, and I was so overwhelmed, and I just did not feel like I had the resources to deal with it in a way that was connecting and supportive of either of us. I was just reacting, especially to the dynamic between my husband and my child, and it was overwhelming. I was irritated all the time. I was burnt out, and I knew that I needed help. And I knew that I wasn't the only parent that needed support. And that's
I
why
also know from our time together that you're a teacher, you're an educator.
yeah.
And I would imagine that having worked with children, you might have had a different idea of what things would be like with your own child. What was that like for you?
I was so excited to become a mother. It was something that I looked forward to my whole life. And I thought I was really prepared. I had a pretty good relationship with my own family, and I have done a lot of personal development work throughout my life. And I thought I was completely ready and completely prepared. And boy, was I wrong about that. Because I found that there was just stuff coming up inside of my body, out of my mouth, that I wasn't expecting. I didn't know where it was coming from. And I really needed to explore that. It was pretty obvious to me that there was deeply ingrained wounds that I needed to explore and heal, so that I could have a deeper, more connecting relationship with my family. That is what I found. With
And
Jai.
so, yeah, that's what we do. So, and in your perspective as an educator, how could tell me a little bit about that perspective of the parent-child relationship?
Well, as an educator, I spent over a decade working with middle school students mostly, and the part about teaching that was always the most challenging for me was behavior management in a classroom full of 40 plus students. And I always knew that there was something missing, that all the professional development work that I had done, all the education that I had going to become a teacher, was all about punishments and rewards and bribes and to change behavior, and it was not working. I spent a decade watching that not work, and trying 1,000 different ways. Every single night I would go home and try to figure out, okay, well, what's my next strategy? What can I do tomorrow that can change this dynamic between in this classroom and in that classroom? And um, I just never found a solution in the the educational paradigm that we live in our culture is like I said, very focused on rewards and punishments or consequences, and it does not work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. And I spent a decade
I can
trying
only
it
imagine.
every single possible way, and it just wasn't connecting, because also as an educator, we're told constantly relationship, relationship, relationship. We have to develop relationships with students in order to support their
Mm.
educational growth.
So
And
that just made the connection for me because, of course, then consequences, bribes, sticker charts are detrimental to relationship.
yeah, absolutely.
So if that doesn't work from your perspective now, what does?
Well, personal healing. So that I mean, for me, it was about getting clear about what I needed in the moment so that I could be present, I could be regulated in my body, and really see behind behavior for children, and make a connection on a human to human, heart to heart level. That I Since I left teaching a couple years ago, I have done work with Jai and other personal growth work. I'm like, I'm a way better teacher than I ever was before, because I know so much more about how to connect and how to build a relationship on a much deeper level, and without using the punishments and the rewards and
This
bribes.
could seem, I could feel this seeming counterintuitive to parents watching, that the path to a different experience with our children's behavior starts with us.
Mhm.
Can you make that connection for me?
Yes. Well, I can I can connect that with my own family.
Yeah.
Once I explored what was going on inside of me that was coming out with yelling and frustration, I was able to really understand myself on a much deeper level. And because of that, I'm able to give myself so much more love and compassion. And when I do that, it is so much easier to stay grounded and rooted when my child is having a hard time. And now I'm like, oh, I'm noticing that my heart rate is beating, my blood pressure is rising, and all of those things. And just reminding myself I am safe in this moment, and I want to be there, be present for my child, because they're having a hard time. And once I removed myself from the not the equation, like my stuff that I had going in the back of my head, I could be so much more present with my child. Oh my gosh, you're having a really hard time. I just need to be calm and present. Stop saying words.
Yeah.
Just be there and supportive. And it's completely transformed my relationship with my son. We can co-regulate together. When he is having a hard time, I just am a peaceful, calm presence.
Mm. So talk to me about, when you are working with your clients, what is that process like? What are people going to experience in their work with you?
A completely judgment-free space to really explore where your triggers are coming up, when they're coming up, and when my clients discuss those hard things with me, I am actually providing, just like I explained to you with my own son, I'm providing a safe, calm, grounded hand to hold, I guess is a good way to describe it. I'm supporting you to experience all of that, and to talk through it in a way, in a space that's safe, and remind you that you're safe so that you can move through that emotional experience and get to the other side.
Yeah. I can hear the voices coming up, but my child doesn't listen, but they are, break the rules, but they are wild. How does that shift through this work?
It's so hard to even put it into words. It's hard to describe the process because it's a natural consequence of
Mm.
just having a safe space to be 100% who you are and talk through the things that are coming up for you and in your relationship with your children. It is like when you have that safe person to see you through that pain
Mm.
and the challenges that you are experiencing in your daily life, and you have a place to come and talk about it.
Yeah.
Not only just to talk about it, also bring mindfulness to a few moments once a week in 1 hour. It's remarkable how transformative just that can be. Just to have it.
Yeah, it's just it's always such a profound moment when I see a parent realize that when their behavior shifts,
Mhm.
their child's behavior shifts.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's
Mm.
so much fun. It's so much fun to experience.
Wahahaha.
Yeah, exactly. And of
Maya,
course,
what might be
still
oh,
experiencing
I'm
all that.
sorry, love, what'd you say?
I said I'm still experiencing that transformation, and it's amazing to watch.
Yes, for sure. So, what might be some signs or some things going on in a home between parent and child that might be a signal that it's time to reach out to you for a conversation about working together?
If you are finding that you are yelling all the time, if you believe that you have to resort to bribes and punishments and rewards and things like that in your home in order to change your child's behavior, and you just don't see any progress happening or any behavioral changes that are occurring, and then you notice that you are so irritated all the time because your strategies that you're using are not working, and you just keep trying different strategies and it's still not working, that is a time to reach out to me and get support.
Beautiful. And how does one do that? How can we get in touch with you?
You can email me. I have an email. It's mayaleajamescoaching@gmail.com. You can always find me on Instagram. My handle is at wholemom.maya. And you
Mm.
can send me a message and say, I need help. I will
Oh.
get in touch with you and we can set up a call.
Amazing. Oh, Maya, you're incredible. Thank you so much for doing this work, for carrying the torch of peace to more and more families. I deeply appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Kiva.